So we're just going to build off of what we did before. Okay. So for this exam, for these word questions, things we'll try to find: heights of buildings, trees. This is actually something that's done in forestry. Forestry is like working with trees, where they want to find out the height of a tree. Right? If you're somewhere and want to find out the height of a tree, it's a lot easier to find the shadow of the tree, the shadow of you, and then figure it out. You can do it with Egyptian pyramids as well. Widths of rivers and things along those lines. Geez Louise. What are these guys called again? Surveyors. Surveyors do this as well. They'll measure from one point to another. Do you guys ever see these guys walking by the road and figure out what they do? So these guys are taking measurements. If you see them, like, you'll see them around construction projects for roads. They'll take measurements of where the road should go. Sometimes they take measurements of where your house lines are and things along those lines. They'll use similar triangles. So steps to solve this, right? Draw a diagram and label everything would be the first thing to do. Find the corresponding sides or ratios. So just like we did before, what sides match each other's sides. And then solve, then write your conclusion. Okay? Let me get this set up here. Oops. Oh, shoot. 1 second. More triangles. Word problems. Not what I wanted. There we go. So, I'm actually going to skip through this one. We just did a question like this. So I'm not going to do a question like that. Okay, but we are going to do this one. Okay, I'm going to remake this note as we go. So, angles of the sun. So if we take a look at shadows here, if we take a look at this guy here, right? These people here want to find the height of this tree. So what they can measure is the shadow of the tree, but they can also take a meter stick out. Since they know how tall the meter stick is, they can take a measurement of the shadow of the meter stick and then use that to set up a triangle. Okay? So let's try to draw this word question out. Okay? I'm going to read it, wait about 30 seconds or so. So people who want to try to draw it out before I do can try, and then I'll draw it out as well. Nice thing is once we've drawn it out, it's just like the questions we did before. So Emma is 1.6 meters tall, and her shadow is 4.8 meters tall. She's standing beside a lighthouse that has a shadow of 75 meters long. How tall is the lighthouse? Okay. So we have Emma and a lighthouse. And let's put the sun, for example, put the sun up here. We kind of have a reference point. We have Emma, and we have a lighthouse. These are not drawn to scale. I don't know how that looks anyways. I'll just draw a building for a lighthouse. Okay? And we have shadows from these two people. Okay? I'm going to let you try to draw out the rest of your triangle. Okay? Tell me in chat when you think you have your two triangles done. And I forgot to give Emma arms, which I apologize, Emma. Tell me when you think you have your two diagrams labeled. Does anyone have their triangles done? Or are we all lost just waiting for me to draw it themselves? Yeah, done or yeah, lost? Yeah, Amelia, go ahead.
Good morning.
Oh my God, you're back. Did you ever get the class yesterday? All right. Have you? Okay. Well, why are you talking to me? You should get to work. Oh, okay. What's the person's name? You don't remember. Well, I don't need it. Okay. Does your sister have a diagram written down yet? Oh. Oh, Kathy Basney. Okay. She'll get back to you. Yeah. Just go log on to your Teams and randomly call Kathy Basney if you really want to get a hold of her. Do you know how to do that?
Okay.
Well, here, look real quick. If you open up your Teams, you have something that looks like this, right? Go to calls. If you click on calls, she should always be at her computer. You can kind of go, there should be a section here where you can say make a call and just type her name in there. That'll give you like a direct line to her.
Really?
You could randomly phone a teacher hypothetically. And don't you dare phone me. Okay. Away we go. Alright. So, yeah. So this is what our diagram should look like. Something like this. Emma's 1.6 meters tall. Her shadow's 4.8. This shadow is 75. So this is the side we're looking for right here. Okay? How many people got a shadow that looks something like that? A diagram looks something like that. Yep. Okay. So now, before we prove the sides, we have to prove that they're similar, right? If we remember, angle, angle, side, angle, side, 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 side. Right now we have nothing, but these are both 90-degree angles since they're both standing straight up. Okay? And the sun is in the air, so it's going to make the same angle with the ground. So this angle is going to be equal to this angle. Therefore we have this. We know they're similar because those two angles are equal. Now we're back to the exact same question we did before. Right? If we want to find what this is, let's figure out the factor between these two numbers. What's the factor between these two numbers? How do we find that number? Can you type in the number or how to find the number in chat for me? It's exactly like the questions we did before. $75 divided by 4.8. Good. 75. Oh my gosh, what did I just write? 75 divided by 4.8. equals 15.6. So 15.6 is my number here. Either we're going to multiply by 15.6 or we're going to divide by 15.6. If we're going from the smaller Emma to the bigger lighthouse, are we going to multiply by 15.6 or divide by 15.6? What do we think? And as I said before, we could just do both of them and figure out what number makes sense. But we're going to multiply by 15.6. Okay? It should equal a number around 25. Right? And then we write our therefore statement at the very end. Therefore, 3 little dots, the lighthouse is 25 meters tall. Amelia, can you hear me? Make sure you tell your sister if she phones her, she figured out how to phone her herself. Don't get my name pulled into that. Okay? How does everyone feel about this this question? Good, bad, weird? Good. Haley loves her emojis, or whatever that is. All right. Luke, can I scroll down? Luke, are you there? Luke there. Okay. Perfect. Alright, so now this one here is a little different. Once it gets nice out, we're actually going to go outside one day and do these. So these ones look a little different. Where's my thing over here? So if you ever want to find out how tall your house is, like hypothetically, that would be a great question for tomorrow. If you have a mirror, let's say this is a mirror. Okay? If you have a mirror, let's say Andrew's here. I'm going to place Andrew right here. Okay? And Andrew's standing 0.5 away from the mirror. And Andrew's 1.6 tall as well. Ironically, Emma and Andrew are the same height, and both of them don't have arms. Okay? And Andrew wants to know, what does Andrew's going to break into a bank. Okay? And there's a window. He knows there's a window right here that the bank never locks at night for some reason. And he wants to know how big of a ladder he needs to get to that bank. Okay? He can actually, if you line up a mirror on the ground and look at it, you can find out how high the mirror is. Okay? How far is he standing? 5 meters away from the bank. Okay? Is everyone's, and we want to see how high this is. That's what we're wondering. So Andrew's eyes are lined up perfectly, so the only thing he sees, like the highest point he sees, is the window of the bank. Does everyone understand what my diagram looks like? Andrew's wondering why he's breaking into a bank. This would be a great Friday afternoon, go outside assessment. Put you in pairs and do stuff like this. So now the question is, how high is that? But we need to find our proof. We have our side, 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 angle, angle. Now we only have three sides. One side, two sides, three sides, right? Like we have one pair of sides, but we don't have three pairs of sides. So that takes these two out. So we need to find angles that are equal. Well, hopefully both of these angles are 90 degrees. So that's one angle. And since we're reflecting something, this angle here is going to be equal to this angle here. So there's our proof there. Now, what's our buddies here? Like, what's the two numbers we want to look at to find our factor? Can anyone tell me that? What's our two numbers that we want to look at for our factor? Of how much this grows by. Good. So these are two numbers we want to look at between these two. And what's the factor between these two? If you can spot it right away, that's good. If not, take your big number and divide it by your little number. In this case, 5 divided by 0.5 will equal 10. So now, what are we going to do to get the height? We know Andrew's height. How are we going to find the height of the building? Our number is 10. Are we going to multiply or divide? I agree with you, Haley. We're going to multiply by 10 because our number is getting bigger, right? So 1.6 times 10, which will equal 16 meters. Good. Luke, tell me when I can scroll down, okay? I'm going to hop back here and steal a question. You got it? Perfect. All right. Let's scroll this way. Let's do this question first. So I'm going to read it out first. Then I'll let you draw it out as best you can. Okay? So it says triangles IJK and TUV are similar. Okay? And when they give you, if I told you I had triangle ABC, it just means I have a triangle and it's labeled A, B, C. Okay? That's all that means. The length of the sides of IJK are 40, 50, and 24. it doesn't tell you which ones, it doesn't really matter. 40, 50, and 24. The longest side of TUV is 250. What is the perimeter of TUV? So what's the other side going to be worth? Okay? So I want you to try to draw out two triangles for me and label what you know. Okay? I'm going to give you 3 minutes to work on this. Okay? I want to see what you come up with. And tell me when you're done your diagram so I can get a judge of how everyone's progressing. So has anyone finished the diagram yet? Or are we lost? Which is okay to be lost. Okay? Okay, that's okay. I'd much rather, if we're lost, you tell me we're lost, right? Because that will tell me what to think. Wait till Trey's done. Alright, so here we go. Let's start with the first part. Fine. So let's start with IJK. Let's make one that says I, J, and K. We have T, U, V. Okay? So now we have IJK has sides of 40, 50, and 24. So I'm just going to put them here, 40, 50, and 24. Right? So there's my IJK one. Right? And it says the longest side of TUV is 250. So if the longest side is 250, am I going to put it at the bottom, left, or right? If I look at this one, I say my longest side on this one, the bottom, left, or right? Good. So I'm going to write this one on the bottom. Good. Now I know my triangles are similar because it tells me that. Right? So check. Now, let's figure out my factor. right? Because it doesn't really matter what side's this. It's not really asking. So what's my factor between these two numbers? I take 250 and I divide it by 5. Yep, good job, Trey. You time it's 5 is the answer. Sorry, 50 is the answer. What? Divided by 50, which equals 5. I got my numbers mixed up. 5 is the answer, right? So going this way, I'm going to erase these things right here. Going this way, we're going to multiply by 5. So to get this one here, what would be the numbers I multiply to get this side over here? I times by 5, right? 24 times 5 is going to equal that number. 24 times 5 is 120. And this one over here is 40 times 5, which equals 200. So we have everything around our triangle right now. So if this is asking for the perimeter is how far along the outside. So we add up our three numbers. 200, 120, and 250. How do we feel after seeing that? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs, or a potato, as in I have no clue what happened. Haley's got that thumb up on Quick Draw. Okay. Good. Let me see if there's another question off the homework that we haven't really done. Trees, height, shadow, shadow. That kind of looks the same. We've done something like that. Alright. Alright, that's it for what we have to do. Now, for your homework, no question 8 on this. Okay? You can use question 8 as a challenge. If you want to try question 8, feel free to. Actually, let's do a question just like question 8. I lied. We're not done. Because they don't use a triangle. Okay. This will take like 3 seconds. Alright. This is a football field. Okay? What do we say a football field was? A football field is 85 yards by, I think a Canadian one is 120. No, 140. This will be a good thinking question for you. If I'm going to draw this on a piece of paper, okay? That is the worst yard ever right there. Oops. $85 yards for that part. Okay. If I want to shrink this to here, and I want to make 1 yard equal a ½ inch. Okay? How long in inches is this going to be? And how long in inches is this going to be? If I'm going to shrink the diagram to shrink the actual football field onto a piece of paper. and I want 1 yard to equal a ½ inch. Or even let's go ½ centimeter. Now don't worry about conversions here, okay? We're not converting yards to centimeter. How long is this side going to be in centimeters? Did anyone else get 70 and 42.5? And how did we get there? Those are the correct answers. So what Trey looked at was this here, 0.5, is the factor, right? And we're going to multiply it. 8.5 times 0.5, that's 85, sorry, is going to get us 42.5, and 140 times 0.5 is going to give me 70. Okay? That's for question 8. It's kind of like the same type of question. So, back to homework-wise. Homework-wise for you guys, here's the word problems. Here, there's what? 9 different ones? Remember, draw your diagrams, label everything, corresponding sides. Now I would say do the word problems, but if you haven't finished off a couple of these last ones here, go back and do some of the last ones and go do these ones as well. Okay? There's a bunch of shadow questions. Question 4 we did, so we can take out question 4 if you remember too, right? Because we did that one in class. But question 4 just looks just like this one here. Okay? Oh, what is that one? The perimeter of small triangle is 133, the length of the 2 corresponding sides of triangles. Don't worry about 6. Okay? And away you go for your homework. If you have questions, I'll be here waiting for you if you have any questions to help out on. Besides that, 12:45 is when we are back. I gotta figure out who did not do the attendance before you guys all run away on me. I saw 14 responses. Okay. Did anyone knowingly not do the attendance? Yeah, Luke Dillon told me that you guys are. So I didn't get Mom to phone the school to mark you approved absence for that part for me, okay? Who am I missing here? Alex Amelia, Andrew Austin, Ben Dominic, Ellen, Emma, Emily. Perfect, Emily. I was just checking in. You either missed when I put the attendance out. Well, there's only 9, so I would do all 9. It won't take you that long. Or make sure of the, you have 4 shadow questions. So if you can get 3 in a row right, then you're good to go after that. As in, you don't have to do the 4th shadow question. But past that, the 3 in the next phase shouldn't take that long. Emily, can you do this attendance for me real quick, just so I know? It has a question attached to it that I want to know the answer. Here, I sent it directly to you. Kaylee, come here.